Right.
Yeah, nah.
Okay.
I've had to do these in front of like hundreds of people.
That's dope.
Yeah, so like, imagine trying to film, like you're trying to get a one-on-one interview, it's cool, and then a crowd forms behind you. Like I was at a festival, like a crowd, and a crowd formed behind because we was filming the guy who was putting on the festival. So now they're just, ooh, ah.
That's cool.
Ooh, wow. I remember that. I think the first time I did that was like 2019, about 5 years ago. And then it's like, the show must go on.
That's dope.
You know? But I think we're ready.
All right.
So we're here today. We want first and foremost, let's shout out Brass Tacks.
Yes.
Let's shout out Brass. Hold on, I'm looking at the camera. Let's shout out Brass Tacks. You know what I'm saying? For letting us record here today.
Involuntarily.
They might not know this. They might not. I'm gonna send the owner a video. I'm gonna send the owner a video. Should be good.
Amazing place.
Hey everybody, my name is Jay Shep. I'm the CEO of Talent Towards Media, and I'm here with my near dear friend, business partner, and Jordyn.
Yes.
And I feel like you can introduce yourself better. I feel like you have the business.
All right. I always struggle with introductions because it's like I don't know how to package what I do in like one word or two. Like I don't have like I do this exactly. I would like to describe myself with adjectives instead. So first and foremost, my name is Jordyn Turner. I am the founder and creative director, I guess you could say, with Made Manifest. I also do a lot of other side projects, including The Collective, and I also work as a project manager. And so I think a lot of my work, though it does span a very big spectrum of entrepreneurship all the way to like corporate and large corporations, is I'm all about like learning, development, growth. And so I consider myself to be an ideator, a connector, a collaborator, and an innovator. And so I really like to produce solutions to problems that I see. And it's almost like every time I look at the world around me, there's always something that could be improved, something that could be better, and I like to contribute to that as much as I can. And it's usually by connecting people. It's usually by bringing, who I respect and find inspiration in to the people who will be able to benefit the most from what they have. And so I'm really excited about this conversation because I think this next project that you and I are working on is just a continuation of that.
For sure, definitely. Hold on. I feel like I was a little too humble. Because I love what you just said about yourself.
You think I was humble?
Nah, I feel like what you said was great. I feel like for me, I just kind of give her one thing.
Yeah.
Hey everybody, I'm gonna do my intro again. I am Jay Shep, CEO of Talent Towards Media, creative director of Rest Media out here in Houston, Texas. Innovative, creative, businessman. Like I said, we're both entrepreneurs.
Yes.
And I feel like all in all, I'm a connector. I feel like God put me on this earth to speak. God put me on this earth to connect. And God put me on this earth to create.
Yeah.
Where this comes into play with both of us.
Yeah.
Is that we have this dope thing, this idea that we've
an initiative. Yes.
That we are bringing to the light in the city of Houston, Texas.
Yeah.
I kind of want to go into a question first before we even start telling people what we have going on.
Yeah.
Is that what do you think in any industry? It doesn't have to be creative field. I'm really living the creative space.
Yeah.
But what do you think about Houston and industry? Do you think that the youth and I would say medium youth, because I don't know how to explain it. I'll say like that's that 30 to 40 range.
25 to 35-ish.
25 to 35.
Yeah, young adult. I see.
And then a little bit older, like you can say 35 to maybe 43-ish.
Right.
That's why I call medium youth. You ain't old.
Those are millennials still. I think the oldest millennial is like 41 at this point. So, yeah.
These days are perfect.
Yeah.
Do you think that Houston is really connected?
Okay, that's a really loaded question. I think when it comes to specific industries where it's like, you have your creatives, you have your young professionals in corporate or more traditional, job roles, 9 to 5, I guess. I don't think that there is enough space. I think that there's a desire to be connected in that way, but I don't think that Houston is a city that really values those kind of places just yet. Right. Because I think our culture overall, like we talked about it earlier, is just very laid back. Mm-hmm. And people are just kind of like, casual, which is nice. I really do appreciate that. But as far as creating spaces where people can come together with intentionality to actually build their careers, to experience social mobility together, I don't think that we're connected in that way. I do think that we're connected in culture, but I don't think that we're connected as far as this shared desire to work together to accomplish a common goal, whether that goal is advancement in our careers, advancing our communities, advancing, the world around us in general, just advancing Houston, right? Putting us on the map as a city that has movers and shakers that are actually doing stuff and are not afraid to publicize it or amplify that, I guess you could say. I don't think that we have enough of those. And maybe it's that I'm like still figuring the city out as somebody who just returned back from being in Atlanta for 6 years. But I can see the huge contrast from like how I was able to navigate the Atlanta social and networking scene versus like how much more difficult it is to kind of carve out space for yourself here. And though I think people in general are more open and welcoming in Houston because that's our culture, I don't think that we have a place that has been intentionally carved out for us to gather there and to experience all of that together for specific goals and purposes.
I'll kind of.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
Yeah.
I think what me being here, going to school a little bit outside of the city, and then coming back into my master's back here in Houston, really cementing my business in Houston, but also working in different places, like working in Atlanta and LA, doing a lot of things bi-coastal. Mm-hmm. One thing I've noticed is that with Houston, our scene specifically, people love to try to network up. No one really likes to network side to side, and I think
horizontally,
I think the biggest thing that I've noticed is with people is that, no one's just gonna automatically save you, pull you up, and save you.
For sure.
But I think there's power in like, oh, you do this over here. And we're on the same level. Oh, you do this over here. Why don't we all come together and like put all of our talents together and then build something greater? I'm all about teamwork. Mm-hmm. I have a team of my own. Shout out to the TO team. Mm-hmm. But I think the biggest thing that Houston, I've noticed that everybody wants to be Don Dada, the big boss, top dog. I'm such a CEO of this, and it's kind of like, you can co-found something, or you can work with other people to curate something that might 10x. Let's say your goal is money, right? Mm-hmm. So like, if you want to have something, you might be making 100,000 by yourself. You can be making a meal with five. You can be making a meal with 5 people, and then y'all bring it in over a month. You're gonna make more. Yeah. And you're probably gonna stress yourself out less. Yeah. It's teamwork.
And 10% of $1 million is better than 100% of nothing, right? And so I love that you said that. I think partnership and collaboration is completely underrated within the youth, but especially within the black community of young professionals. And to your point, it's like everybody wants to be at the top. Right. But what I have found I really appreciate about the business models that I've been able to create is that it is a very community-based practice where it's like I genuinely try to source the people that are around me who I know just need an opportunity, who need someone to trust them, who need someone to like see their vision and give them the chance to like put their skills to use. And so that's why I really love to create things. It's not just about like solving the problem. It's also about how many people can I bring together in this situation to help them advance as well. Like, while I'm also being, applauded for the solution that I came up with to this particular problem, you don't see all of the other people around me, the 8 people who empowered me to actually help me do this. And it's like small things like, if I know my cousin does this really well, and I'm not always a big fan of like recruiting family necessarily, but it's just being able to, like you said, reach to the side of you and bring people who just need a chance into the opportunities that you're looking for.
And so with that being said, I think the word that stuck out to me while we've been talking about this back and forth is the word impact.
Yes.
How important is impact to you? Just in that word.
It's so important to me that it sometimes is a paralyzer because everything that I do, I am measuring it based on the impact it'll have. Right? And so, unfortunately, I am a true visionary in nature. So when I get an idea, I don't just see, what can I do today? Right? What is the small thing that I can do to impact one person? I get an idea, and it's usually a global vision. It's usually something that's going to impact hundreds of thousands, sometimes even millions of people if I continue in those small diligent steps over time, right? And so I've learned that I've had to partner with people who are executors, who knows how to actually implement plans because I'm such a visionary. And because my visions are so big, I can get lost in the high level stuff that I forget. The details is what actually gets us there. Those are the stuff. That was crazy.
It happens.
I say that to say, impact is super important to me because I'm measuring impact with everything that I think about doing.
Right.
And so I don't just measure it based on like, oh, how many people will be a beneficiary of this as, like I said, as a solution to the problem.
Right.
But again, how many people can I also pull up with me in doing this as well? Can I create a company that can solve this problem, but can I use that company also as an opportunity to hire, to do second chance hiring, right? Maybe felons who don't have opportunities to go to work in big companies. Can I give them the chance to do that here? Can I give the opportunities to creatives who are looking for, places to, use their skills and to showcase their talent? Can I bring them into projects that I'm working on? And then consistently offering some type of value in exchange. What I think people don't understand is that it doesn't always have to be a money for money transaction. Sometimes it's really just like giving people the platform and giving them visibility is also an equal exchange for a lot of people. And that's the benefit of working with people who are at the same level as you, doing that peer-to-peer networking versus always trying to reach to the top, right?
Right. And
so that's a part of the impact.
So what's crazy though about that, and I'm about to give my impact answer too. But it's so funny because I see people all the time. It's like a lot of creators like, yo, when people offer them to do something for exposure, like a cameraman or producer or sound guy or whatever, a lot of people are like, nah, people got to pay rent, people got to pay bills.
For sure.
I do understand it.
Yeah.
But I do think sometimes you can't be so money hungry, and this is where it goes into impact. I think sometimes people don't see a bigger vision.
Yeah.
Now, sometimes there's some visions that don't need to be big.
Right.
Because there's some visions that they're casted, but they're throwaway. It's like you don't even
believe in this.
You don't even believe in this. You don't even have the like the big statement. One of my partners and I, that's on my team. His name is Ryo. Stage name is Ryo. We talk about this all the time. And he's like, man, we hate going to networking events. Yeah. Everybody like, yo, let's work, man. We need to lock in. We need to do something. I was like, but you don't even believe in that.
Yeah.
Like I can tell, like you see some. Yeah. You see something good and you want to attach yourself to it.
Yeah.
I mean, we're not talking about that. I think for me, with impact, it's like when a visionary sees another visionary.
Yeah.
And you can coexist in a space, and y'all can work, and y'all can lay a vision out. I feel like when you're doing stuff for a purpose.
A purpose. That's what it is. Yeah.
When you're doing stuff for the purpose, gotta figure out the paper.
Yeah.
But there's nothing in the Bible that says you can't go make your paper.
Exactly.
And so essentially with the impact, it's like, yo, find out what, like you said, find the problem, find the solution, find the people that want to believe in that solution.
Exactly.
And then apply a plan. Because
partner,
right.
Yeah.
And then find a plan, because I think this is what Washington said this, he said dreams without goals is just wishful thinking. So if you don't have steps to get to that goal,
And that's hard, that's really hard to do, but I love that you said like purpose. Purpose is really, to me, the key to impact, because when I say impact, people can measure impact in very different ways. When I talk about impact, it's like, am I seeing people's lives improve based on what I just did, right? And so for me, everything I do, like I said, is around like learning, leadership, and development. So I try to curate solutions that are about giving people knowledge, giving people information, or giving them opportunities to activate that information and that knowledge in practical ways that will actually benefit them. Because my goal has never been to create fans. I don't want people who are dependent on Jordyn to come up with the next thing to get you to the next place. And I'm waiting on Jordyn to deliver this next solution. I'm waiting on Jordyn's next idea. I don't want people to wait on me. I want to create a place where people benefit from one thing that I did for them. It's so much that they can go off and work themselves. And they can continue to do that over and over and over again. And so I really just want to create a community of people who are leaders, who are impact driven themselves, but also are self-motivated, and they have the initiative. But sometimes I can be the person who helps get them to that place, where they can go off and do it themselves.
And so I guess we're going keywords here, and I love it because I love segues.
Yes.
What you just told me was connectivity.
Yes, connecting.
Connectivity, community. We just talked about impact, and so us being in Houston, we're trying to figure out what's next.
Right.
We're trying to figure out what's next. We're trying to be with the now, but trying to be with the next.
Yeah.
Try to figure out what's going on in the future. And I think sometimes people have a hard time figuring out who to be around when it comes to the next.
Yeah.
But, I feel like if we throw an HTX in front of next, I think we have something beautiful in store for the city,
Right.
Maybe a little subliminal, but we're here today to let people know that we have this thing called HTX NXT that we've been working on and curating. I think we have a date for people. I think we have a date. I think so.
Yeah.
June 22nd.
That sounds about right.
Sounds like a great day.
Yeah.
Sounds like a good Saturday.
Yeah.
Location we have already that'll be dropped on some type of flyer.
Yeah.
How do you? First of all, how did this come about?
I was going to ask you that. How did we come up with this?
I can tell you want to go first, or you want me to go first?
Tell the story from your perspective, and then I'm gonna tell it from mine.
I was at HEB, right? I was at
Basically.
I was at HEB. It was playoff football.
Yeah.
My godbrother Mason, who you met recently.
Mason. Yeah. Okay, Mason.
Who you met
Shout
recently. Shout out to Mason. Shout out to my Mason. Check him out. He was just having the birthday get together at his house.
Yeah.
At his people's house. So I'm in HEB looking for a little margarita mix, looking for drinks, some little snacks.
Yeah.
And you walk up, he's like, "Hey."
I know you from Instagram.
Yeah, and normally when I'm in a store, I don't know if I had on headphones. Normally when I'm in a grocery store, I have on headphones. Walk through. For me, the grocery store for guys, for everybody, to me, is a scary place. I don't know how to grocery shop
for
well.
Men?
Yeah, for me, personally, I hate grocery shopping.
You get your groceries delivered?
No, I'll go in there and do it. I just put in headphones.
Right.
I gotta focus. I was like, okay, how do I feed myself today?
Gotcha.
How do I feed myself this week?
That's so sad. Okay.
But essentially, came over, be like, hey, I know you're from Instagram, and then we started talking, and be like, yo, we should work on something.
Yeah.
And I think we talked about a few different ideas, and I think, in that, I was like, I know the first one was like a masterclass, and I was like, yo, I know how those go.
Yeah.
I was like, I don't have a sexy enough following, and what I mean by that, just the number.
Right.
Just the number. I was like, yo, I don't have 60,000, 70,000, 80,000 followers. Because with a masterclass, you have to sell. Like, okay, well, why should I listen to you? Yeah, you might be. Well, because I'm not showing y'all in my pocketbook. It'd be.
Yeah.
Well, see,
and that's the thing, and I want to quickly interject really quick. I'm going to let you get back to your story. But I think people confuse follower count with influence.
I think
and so what he hasn't told you about this story is, from my perspective, there was actually research and observation that went into me ever approaching you about something like that. I don't work with people that I don't respect. I don't work with people that I don't get inspired by. And so I had already been following you for years at this point, and I'm seeing what you're doing. I'm seeing like the commitment and the consistency in what you were doing. And that to me was inspiring, because people who are bold enough to like chase after a dream that they feel is important and can actually leave an impact, those are the people that I want to work with. And so you think that it happened in the grocery store, it was already happening way before then.
I appreciate that.
Yeah.
See,
he's influential. Yeah. You are.
I appreciate that.
Yeah.
So look, but after that, we just started talking. We just started talking ideas, and then one thing led to another. Like, let's create an event. Let's create a moment. Let's create something where we can get a lot of people together.
Yes.
And then this name and the series, as media started going, we started connecting the dots.
Right.
And now we're here, about to give the city something that I'll never say something's 100% new, but I would say it might be a new rendition of it.
Right.
Yeah. Of a networking series in different industries.
Right.
To where it's like, our first one is for the content creators.
For sure.
This first one is for the content creators, but not just like your lifestyle people who we love, who they're going to be in the building.
Yeah.
Or your food bloggers who they'll be in the building. But for people that are in real estate who use content to get, customers, who to get people their homes, or a DJ that's top tier who's using content since he was dancing. I'm not gonna drop his name yet. He'll be on the fly.
Yeah,
he knows who he is.
Yeah,
and so, but this guy who uses content for his own business, and everybody growing and growing their own entities through content creation.
Right.
That's going to be in that building.
Yeah.
And so many people want to learn about it.
Yeah.
I feel like that's a perfect place for us to start.
Yeah.
And so I could ramble all day, but I'm going to throw the story back to you now.
Mm-hmm.
And I know you kind of gave a little bit of like...
Of my story, how I started,
Yeah, started, but how do you think this experience and how we've come about this?
Yeah. And I might have misspoke. It's not that I don't work with people I don't respect. I respect, everybody. I think it's just kind of a given until it's, taken away. But when I say like respect, I mean like people I genuinely are like, yeah, you're doing something, and I want to collaborate with you. Right. I think that you are a serious person, and so from that point, met him in the grocery store. And I did say, like, hey, at that time, too, though, and this is something he could probably attest to, is I'm always thinking ahead. Right. So at that time, I was already working on the masterclass with Alyssa, who may or may not be one of our amazing... May or may not be at the panel. Who knows? Right. I was already working on something with Alyssa, and we had already had 2 different classes that we were... And at that time, not one of them had taken place yet. So I was already thinking about what's next, because again, I'm impact driven. So we were already planning that to perfection. It was excellent. Delivery was great. And then I was like, okay, I think I have the courage to do this again. Who do I want to partner with next? Remember the conversation that you and I had. And so we circled back, and I was like, okay, I know you have all of this influence and these connections in media and entertainment. I see what you're doing. So it seems like you're somebody who's really connected in the city. Mm-hmm. And as someone who is just now getting back in the city, what I think I've learned about myself is that the solutions that I create usually are born out of something that I need. Right. And so I just came back from living in Atlanta for 6 years, where I'm like super plugged in to the tech startup community there. I have keys to workspace buildings and stuff like that. I can meet people literally by walking out of my house and just deciding to go and sit in a specific spot. And now I'm talking to a millionaire. Now I'm talking to the next big tech unicorn, and that's how easy it is to come across those opportunities in Atlanta. Whereas when I came back to Houston, it's kind of like I was starting all over again. Right. And I was like, well, dang, where are the people that I like and want to work with and are like-minded? And so I was like, well, I know Alyssa, right? Alyssa and I did something, and then the next person that came to mind was you again. So because you had all of this situated, it's kind of like you've already done the work, right? You've already done the sweat equity of being able to build something like this. Right. I was like, let's just partner that with my desire to like create spaces and to also offer some type of learning and enrichment opportunity within that space, where it's not just about like, hey, let's get people together who are like-minded and let's talk and dance and let's have conversations that don't go anywhere beyond this point. But like, let's actually get those people together in the room. Let's do that. And let's have other people who are not at a higher level, but have achieved in that particular industry, pour into those people so that they can go out and continue that work as well. So the HTX Next series is really just a way to think about what's next for Houston. Right. And to me, it's more like Houston is next up regardless. Not even like what is next, but like it's happening inevitably. There are people moving over here in droves. It's really becoming a budding hotspot for young professionals and creatives. True. And I love that, but I want to make sure that we have the space and the capacity to support that when those people come. And so that's what HTX Next is. It's like we are next up. Atlanta's had next. New York has had their time, right. LA's had their time, but Houston is next up.
It's really next up now. It's a thing, and it's something I think Houston needs to embrace. Yeah, I think sometimes we try to run from that. Yeah. Being in the city, what I've noticed is like sometimes we have to understand the responsibility of the city. I'm like, yo, this is Black Hollywood Part 2. Yeah, almost. It's a creative hub that I don't say we try to run from, but we don't connect each other. It's a business hub. Yes. People don't understand, like, yo, there's so many entrepreneurs out here. It's so many, the tech game starting to creep in, Yeah,
I'm excited to see that too.
We know for the longest that the city's been oil and gas. Yeah. We know this. Right. That's old.
And medicine.
Right. Yeah, because we can't not talk about the medical field.
Medical centers.
It's a lot of nurses, a lot of doctors moving to the city, but we also have the hospitals, top tier in the nation.
Right, for sure.
And so I think the biggest thing for Houston to recognize now, and what we're bringing to the city, is like, yes, we're providing you a space to mingle, talk to people. We're providing you a space that you're going to learn from people that are prevalent and high in your field.
Excelling in that area. Yeah.
Right. And it's not just going to be young people. It's going to be older people.
Right.
It's going to be middle-aged. It's going to be all types of people that are really rich. You never know what industry that we have a lot of things cooking in store.
Yeah.
Of course, this first one's content creation is hot right now.
Yeah.
Because people, and even if you're not in the field of like influencer or not in the field of straight just content creation, you could be a doctor, right?
Right.
That's trying to learn, like, how do I expand my brand to where I want to start doing like speaking engagements, things of that nature. You need content creation.
For sure.
And you're gonna learn from we got about 5 or 6
people, yeah.
5 or 6 people in that high up in that area, that you can really learn from people that are really doing this at a high level and at a high volume. Because I always say, you want quality over quantity, but if you can get both,
right,
which these people are providing you with, and they're providing you with entertainment. And content creation is almost like the new self-television show.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? Remember YouTube back in the gap, you was getting a lot of videos, and I'm talking about early YouTube.
Yeah.
That was so new back then. Now social media is kind of taking the place of the old YouTube, to where it's like, we're giving you constant entertainment or constant knowledge and information, but feeding you this a couple times a day or once every day. And now you build a community, and now that community is learning from you, and that you can take that community, what you do with it, that's on you. We can't tell you what to do with your own community.
Yes.
But maybe some other people can.
Yeah.
And so I'm excited to see what's next to HTX, because, and obviously enough, I like to do plays on words.
Yeah.
I got to say it backwards. I lost that vote.
What?
NXT.
Oh, yeah. We were trying to figure out the name of the thing, and we literally walked around and asked people which version they like. But go ahead.
Look, I lost by one.
Next to HTX.
But I'm excited to see this journey. So this interesting, because on this hoodie I have, there's something I ask everybody when they're on my show. I'm gonna ask to end this conversation here, but I'm gonna make it to what we have going on. So with HTX Next and this series, with this journey that we're on, what are you looking for the most out of this? Are you looking for the journey of seeing the growth of people? Or are you looking for the destination out of it? And destination, I guess, would be straight impact. Yeah. And seeing how the growth of this will be over time.
Ooh, that's a good question. Oh my God, you know what makes me light up? It's really like it goes back to purpose. It's those small things, those small interactions that make it worthwhile. And I think, to probably my detriment, I'm not super money hungry, but that's because money kind of comes easily. Yeah. When you are in purpose, right? But it's those small interactions that I see between people where I literally take someone who is unfamiliar with this person, but this person has what they need and this person needs it, bring them together, and just seeing them be like, oh my God, you do that? Oh, I would love to work with, and just seeing them being able to connect with each other. And those are really the things that matter the most to me. I was in this coffee shop the other day, and my friend Kennedy, she is a up and coming photographer and event planner. And she has been watching on Instagram silently, fangirling over my best friend, Jossie's photography business and his content. And she was reaching out to me one day, and we were talking about her business plan and what she wanted to do. And I was just serving her in that way. And she was like, yeah, there's a photographer that I really, really respect and I like, and I love his work. And I was like, who is it? She showed me his page. I was like, girl, that's Jossie. So I literally called him on FaceTime and gave her the phone and put him on. And he's not like a celebrity or anything like that. It's those everyday people that are everyday experts, really. And that's really what I want people to embrace more, is that you don't have to look for the top dog. You can sometimes find the person who's going to help you get to the next level together right beside you. They talked on the phone, and he was like, yeah, I would love to mentor you. And so now I facilitated this relationship where she's going to be able to learn from someone that she really admires and thought was inaccessible in some way. And then finding out that, oh no, he's actually willing to pour into someone because he knows what it was like looking for that mentorship, looking for someone to believe in them when they were just starting out. And so those really small wins like that is what actually fuels me. And that's what I'm excited to see happen in these rooms, where if I can just see two people get together and be like, let's work on something, and I see that they actually did it. So that's the destination part. Like, they actually did it, and now they're continuing to pass the torch on and connect them to more people. That's what matters to me the most. And I think also being able to create a space where we can do this in purity and love, right? I don't want it to be an environment where people are self-seeking, where people are self-motivated and self-interested. I want it to be a genuine love for building things that will change the world around us as much as we want to. You know, for some people that's just one or two people. Some people's communities. Some people is global. Some people's the city. Whatever. Right? I want the opportunity to do something like this because we've seen it from people who they're about money, right? To be honest, they're really about money. And I'm not saying that those can't be successful initiatives, but I do know it's something about women and men of God when they do something and the Spirit of God being there and being in the atmosphere, it really does create a place to do that same thing, but with purity, with intention of the heart, right? And I think that's just what I want to see happen. I want to see that happen in Houston, but I also want to see that happen in the world in general. So I think this is just my opportunity to do it in a community that's important to me. This is my hometown, so it's dear to my heart. So if I can do it here, I want to see it happen everywhere. And I'm hoping that the people that join this space, these different these different events that we host, I'm hoping that spirit is so infectious to them that they go out and carry that too.
I can see that. And to answer, I guess, my own question, which I don't ever really get the answer.
Yeah, are you concerned with the journey or the destination?
So for me, I'm always say journey, but in this case specifically, you really need a destination because you really want to see the impact of the people.
Yeah.
And so I think, like a little bit of what you said, I do think the journey of this with people is just, okay, let's get y'all in the room. You know what I'm saying? Let's get you on. Let's see who
what happens.
Yeah, let's see what happens.
Yeah.
Who can connect with who? Because even in some of these industries that we're gonna have, I'm gonna be a novice. Yeah. I'm really gonna be a fly on the wall. Like, we might be coming up with things. We're talking to people. We're gonna be almost learning about some certain things, like a first grade student.
Yeah.
And so it's like it's a process of not only everybody else learning, but I'm gonna be learning. That's the journey of it. Yeah. We're all learning together, and it's not gonna be something like it's school. Yeah. It's not school. You know, we're adults. Everybody got lives, and so we're gonna, we're putting people in a setting to where, like, we want you to feel comfortable. We want you to feel at ease. We want you to sit down. We want you to mix and mingle, but we want you to really learn. Yeah. You know, bring your bag. Bring your notepad. Don't be too cool for school. Don't be too cool to learn. Yeah. But also, we're not making this a constructed, suffocating learning environment.
No.
And so I
can, but we ain't gonna do that.
Yeah. So since we're not doing that, and we're making this thing feel free and we want people to feel comfortable. Yeah. I think the biggest thing is just seeing that growth in that spot. It's like 3 journeys. I want to see how the events grow. Yes. And that journey, I want to see how myself as a human grow. Right. Just learning from other people. Maybe it's not even I'm taking something from them in their space. Maybe it's a mentality thing they have. Something I haven't thought of. Man, he has a good point. He has a great outlook on life. She has a great outlook on life. I need to take this nugget and I need to apply it to myself. Right. And then to see just the impact of that growth. So like seeing the people grow with it. Yeah. Seeing us as we create these spaces, as how we grow. And then just to see what happens. Maybe 6 months later, we look up somebody we put in the room together by default, but they just, they come into the space. Now they started a business. Co-founders, yeah. Yeah, and it's like, we met at the HTX NXT this edition, and now we're doing da-da-da-da.
The joy of that, yeah.
And I'm like, I just want to feel that good feeling, like, okay, I did my part. Right. I'm not asking nothing for you. I'm not asking for no royalty. Yeah. I just want that feel of like I'm doing what I'm put on this earth to do.
Yeah, and just make sure you pay it forward is my only ask. And then also, like, I wanted to ask you, this is kind of different for you, right? like the way that we're doing this.
Yeah, because I'm actually in the conversation.
Yeah.
You know, sometimes when like being a journalist and true on-air host and interviewer, you're like I'm normally you're just guiding the conversation. Mm-hmm. It's like, okay, I'm steering it this way, steering it this way to get the most information out of somebody from the audience.
Right.
Yeah. It's a little different.
Well, I'm saying even the event itself, like, have you ever put on anything that has like an intentional learning component? I feel like people learn from your stuff all the time, which is the goal. Is like, can you take a gem from this person that I had on my podcast and learn about this? Learning about your journey and destination, but like actually having a learning component where we are talking about a specific topic and we're bringing in everyday experts to talk about what worked for them, their growth strategies. Have you ever done anything like that before? Are you excited about doing something?
I am actually. I'm actually excited because it's new.
Yeah.
It's new for me, and I like challenges.
Yeah.
And so doing events has never been. I've been doing that for a minute. I've been doing that since undergrad.
That's why I chose you, yeah.
Yeah, I've been doing that since, and I don't care how people look at it, throwing a party is an event. Mm-hmm. You know, I've been doing that since 19. Shout out to BPG at San Francisco State University.
Yeah.
But I've been doing that since 19. This is different because the component is, all right, how do we create an event to curate learning environment, while also curate it in a way that's like, I don't need nobody sleep. I don't need nobody drooling. You know what I'm saying? How can we create something like, this is still cool. This is still fun.
Yeah.
But this is impactful.
Right, exactly.
So it's a new challenge.
Yeah.
I'm loving the process of how we're going about it.
Yeah.
Our meetings, we get closer and closer every time to a destination of just the first event, and just even learning sometimes like, okay, no, I hadn't thought about this, or like, okay, I'm taking my experiences from this way, this can apply over here. I think that's a beautiful thing. So I'm excited. I love this process.
That's awesome.
I love this process. And it's still funny because people might not see this on camera. This is so different answering questions. I've been interviewed a few times, so I'm not gonna sit here and be like, oh, I've never been interviewed. But you gotta think about it. To my 100 to almost 150 interviews I've done. Boy, that's the worst sound ever. That screech. But my 100 to 150 interviews I've done. Yeah. I've probably been interviewed 10, 15 times. Yeah. Still gets new every now and then when you got to answer a question. But I appreciate it.
I'm so glad we did this. Honestly, I was in like a creative rut for like the last 2 months. So being able to partner with you during this process of, planning this out, getting everything set up, it has been like something that just kept me motivated to remember like, hey, Jordyn, you still have goals outside of, what you do in your 9-to-5 job. You still have dreams and hopes. And it's like just being able to, I really appreciate you for being able to continue to activate that part of me. Even though like sometimes I come to the meetings and I'm like, I'm out of ideas. I don't have nothing to say because work has just been like so much. It's been, and personal things, right? But this has just been really like an opportunity for me to keep flexing that muscle. And I wouldn't have done it with anybody else. And so I've loved it. I've enjoyed it. And I'm really excited to see like what this could turn into someday.
For sure, and I gotta give you your flowers on this too. I think in colors, and I think in patterns as a creative. I'm still a business person, and I'm still a businessman. And I think the thing with you, you were like you have that corporate identity, that language, and I was like, oh no. Jordyn's on her square. She's on her game. If I'm going to work with her, I got to be on my A game too. Right. And I think sometimes when you think in patterns, you can kind of be all over the place sometimes. But now I'm like, okay, now I got to be structured. I got to be this. I got to be this. And you, if no one has ever told you this, I'm like, yo, you really be doing your thing out here.
Oh, thank you.
You really be doing your thing, from your content online to throwing your events. to throwing your classes, and to coming back to having the courage to come back to Houston and still wanting to create, to where you can just be comfortable and be like, I can just do this stuff back in Atlanta. But I want to actually come back to the H where I'm from, and I'm back here living now. Let me try to curate something out here as well. So I give you kudos and the flowers to have the courage to step into a new place that's not new to you, but new in your adulting. to still want to push, to push that agenda. So
thank you. And this was really it was birthed out of like I don't want to sound cliche, but like the whole pain to purpose thing is very, very true, because I didn't have plans to come back to Houston. I was forced to come back to Houston because I got laid off my job, and I could afford my apartment, but it just didn't make any sense, right? So I was like, okay, let me just go back home. And so I kind of came here broken. I came here looking for community. I came here looking for people to continue to inspire me and to keep working with that. I would be able to kind of get back on my feet, not just professionally and financially, but also relationally, continuing what I had created in Atlanta, but here. And so this is just an opportunity to do that for myself, but everything that I do, I find for myself ends up being something that helps a lot of other people too. So,
I'll still HTX NXT, and I think on that note, I really, to be honest with you, I have nothing else to say.
Me either.
I think we've wrapped this conversation up. I think it's been an amazing one.
Yeah.
I think when we put this out to the public's gonna feel the energy that we have.
For sure.
And we want to see y'all June 22nd. Location already solidified, but we'll put it on the flyer.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Panelists, amazing panelists solidified. You'll see how we roll them out. But we want y'all to just tap into us. Make sure you follow our social medias. We'll have our social medias somewhere in the video description, somewhere down. We'll figure this out. But I appreciate you.
Thank you so much.
And look, we're going corporate.
Thank you.
We're going to end it on a corporate handshake. And guys, we will see y'all soon. HTX NXT. The talented ones, made manifest. And we gone.